first poet is Britt Moseley. Britt Moseley is a once-a-century meteorological event.
Hi, I'm Britt.
Yeah.
The one life is lived on one's own. Let that hold you wild. History is trouble. History is not a handsaw or squares. Who cares? The people you know, they all different. Money? No money. Okay. Condense clearly. Anger, mind gunk, nerves are all actually felt, like the kind in your shoe. We all share the same plane. Very few leave the bounds of the sky. Everything has been here for a super long time. All of time. Endless and so short. The core, the crust, the molten innards, a cosmic orgasm spinning in a sad never. The sun swinging the earth, and the earth with its moon companion. How strange to orbit an orbit. And yet we are here, with couches, frogs, and noses. Until we fall off this rock, everything is, and always will be. And that I don't have a title for, but I call it Orbit and Orbit.
Neat.
This is Thursday. The waiter closed our tab around midnight. She was still talking at me. I noticed more about the bubbles forming in my cup of beer than what she was saying. I was stroking my fingers over the candle on the table for something to do or maybe touch. I stopped caring a while ago and didn't want to be out that night. It was like I took $20 and drowned it. She was the kind of person who was fragile and needy, but wants to seem cool and tough. She was from France and would wear bad-smelling chemicals at night. She told me I have tons of outlets to express myself and that she has one. I couldn't stand how long I had been there. We had sex later, but didn't say anything. Her way of expressing herself is to put her finger in my ass. With her, I am blowing bubbles of time I could have used, and now I'm too tired. This is cosmic sadness. There are some things we experience that we feel that bring us into a state of emptiness, and we become creatures of the deep and rely on our habits and skills to distract us from the glowing doom that comes out around our head, the gloom, the haze that forces us to see what we normally do not. We find our lives shaken and on edge. The animals see it best. The routine, the forceful push of change like climbing out of a deep portal, the light and the glowing figures above. They are blue and smiling, and the yellow sun shines behind them. The haze deepens as the latter fades. I struggled through the labyrinth, too ambitious and without insight. You said you were tough enough, but no, that's false. An orbit of objects surrounds us like Saturn, like Jupiter and the sun. It grows and breaks itself through and through. I watched all the parts. I touched all the objects. I had thought highly of them, and I still do. They keep a constant, and I, the planet, keep the equilibrium while watching these float by. I touched the floor of space. My feet were on the dark plane of the cosmic realm. I found it in a ceiling. The door opens like a trap door. It's at the top of a ladder and reluctant to open. I pushed it and saw into space. I stood on the barrier between the imagined and the real. I was glowing and I could see. I was alone there and I walked forward, but it didn't advance my position. Instead, it put me back in time. I stood on the cosmic plane wondering why I chose this. curiosity. Home was dangerous and boredom would ensue. I did not know how to spend my time. I can't see very far. I float. My glow is weaker, but my orbit continued. There were promises to see clearly, to escape, feeling haze. This is called Talisman. Take this talisman and let it guide you. Blue light leads you wherever it shines. It may be scary, it may be friendly, it knows better than you. And this is living right now. I've been hanging out in the places where people see vacancy. I don't have any more time, which is why I'm a dangerous driver. I'd rather be at the edge. In my life, I don't want to do something that I know exists. Call me and I'll give you some bad advice. My leaving you only strengthens your fear. And I always seem to be leaving early, as if I had somewhere to be. I've been drifting through the recent past with people I sort of know for reasons I don't know. When I go to bars, I usually leave with a lot less money than when I started. Relationships fade. I haven't called all the people I meant to call 3 weeks ago. Leave and don't say goodbye. I sit in the back and say as little as possible. I spend the days perceiving. The way I spent $40 last weekend goes as follows. $6 pizza, $10 Budweiser cans at the place with the black light, $5 shish kebabs, $4 vanilla latte, $5 entry into a basement, $6 drinks at the basement. This is Saturday. I was all hazy at this bar with these two girls, and mostly there were stuffed animals around. I was there because I'm usually late. I had seen one of the girls before. She wanted to talk about herself, and I wanted to talk about myself. What surprised me most was she was drinking a cup of whiskey and figured out Tetris with math skills. There was another girl in between who said it was annoying to hang out with people who only want to talk about themselves, and who